Good morning, beautiful. I hope that you slept well. I hope you're ready to start your day. It's your daily insight on life and love for March 26th, 2021. Also timeless. So wherever you're catching it might be relevant. And if it's not, either hang out, don't hang out, enjoy the show. So if you're new to the channel, it's sometimes entertaining. Go ahead and hit the bell for notifications. If you have questions about booking a session, email address or social platforms, DM me. Look, you're overwhelmed, overstimulated, you're burnt out. Oh, it's telling you that you gotta unplug for a little bit because there is so much overwhelm, overstimulation. And you wanna know what? It's making you feel unstable. And it's like you don't want to lash out at people. You don't want to lash out at all. But your guard, it is doing its job and staying up. Take your cue and go rest. Go take a mental vacation. Go into la la land if you have to. You are not going to get better by ignoring these signs about yourself right now. Look, what you love so much, you're starting to resent. You don't even know if you want this anymore. It's not that you don't want it. It's just too much of everything at once. At what point are you going to start to say that, okay, maybe everything is just too much right now. Maybe I need to pace myself. Nothing is going to leave you or, get lost if you simply need to step away in the moment. Pick and choose your battles in this one. It's time to really prioritize things. Not everything has to be a priority right now. Not everything has to be at the forefront of your mind. That's actually, it's coming off as I'm talking to you, people pleasing. F that noise. People pleasing is fine and dandy, but it's overtaking your life, it looks like, in this situation. Why are you sacrificing so much of yourself for everybody else when it's not even being met halfway with all of those connections? See what is true for you and what you actually really want to do. Make that a priority. But you want to know what? Even that being said, you got to step back for a minute. Please take a breather in this one. All the mini reads are talking about this, so I'm just going to go straight into them. I just got my son off the bus and it's hot in the sunlight, which fine and dandy. It's just now I'm trying to acclimate back to the coolness of my office. Give me a moment. I need to rest. I'm not marginalizing what your experience is, but look, the self-employment is not about self-employment in this situation. It's really about you and taking charge in it. You, by being that people pleaser, the yes, can do, the overwhelm, everything, it's lost its direction. Now your plate is just completely overwhelmed. And I see loss is going to be a theme right now, but you're going to find out what's really important to you. So get comfortable with minimizing certain things in your life and certain areas in your life, and then making it about quality. Quality always over quantity. That's the most important thing in that particular mindset. But right now, it does look like it's too cloudy in the head to distinguish what actually is important and what do you just feel confined to. There is nothing that you are confined to, yet it feels that way. So pulling back and resting and getting a clear vision on this is really going to help that. So this is where that particular one is. I really am going to read all three spirit messages with this one because it was just too good. So take a minute, go get your coffee, just turn me up and have me as background noise. It's all good. So, all right. Over here, there's no mystery for us to unravel, as we know intimately how connected we all are, how the web of creation works, and how spirit is in every aspect of life, from the invisible to the visible. But it's also impossible for humans to comprehend the complexities of how, the complexities of how things actually work. because the most important threads in the tapestry don't make sense in the dimension that you live in. That said, can you feel the importance of these currents of the energy that bring events together in miraculous ways? You can't understand with your mind, but you can know with your heart and soul. Trust that even though you don't know the how, the what, or the why, we do. Surrender to the mystery and have faith that the unseen world is watching you with loving eyes as Spirit weaves your life's mysteries in beautiful tapestry into a glorious technicolor. There are times in life when loss is a part of life. Sometimes loss is welcome, like when you leave a situation not in alignment with your highest good. Sometimes the loss is sudden and painful, like a loved one who's crossed over into our dimension. Regardless of the nature of the loss, your control over it, your experience is asking to be acknowledged. Tears are necessary, as is grief. When you repress the natural expression of loss and try to move on too quickly, the unprocessed pain haunts you in destructive ways. We don't want that for you. Instead, let your heart break wide open. Feel the loss and integrate it, and see the beauty that was the lesson that was learned, and know that as you let go of what has passed, even more of you remains. It gets better, we promise. Your heart expands with more compassion for the world than ever before. Love heals all. We are loving you and sending you love always and forever. And going the extra mile okay, so this is after you've stepped back and you've cleared the pathway. I'm actually going to wait and read this one. Let's see. Yeah. The reason behind this is because you need to rebel against the entire situation. I feel like you did this as either a safety or as a favor to somebody who you care about. But the next step in a wrong decision is still the next wrong decision, the wrong step. It doesn't make it right. Let this fall away as it's been trying to for God knows how long. This has been crumbling for a while, and I know that you've been trying to hold it all together, either for some sort of a traditional sake or for some sort of feeling of security that was completely elusive. This is saying you have to stray away from what has been deemed normal, what has been deemed acceptable, even straying away from the herd, finding your own path. A lot of you are stepping into creating your own path, and while that is happening in the masses, it doesn't make it any less important or necessary. Just because people are doing it doesn't mean that it's wrong, but in the same breath, just because a lot of people are doing it doesn't mean that it's right. You have to follow your gut on this one. Actually, I said that in the mini read. I said that on TikTok too. So, where are we going with this? I'm going to shuffle these bad boys back into the deck. Okay, so what is the advice for this situation for you? Two of Cups is making an appearance. It's my favorite card. If it's upright, I'm going to keep it out. And I'm also getting this one. Defend what's actually really important to you, whether it's a really important relationship or a belief. This is highly emotional, and it feels like this is something that you need to learn to take a stand for. This is going to reevaluate and reestablish a lot of these incredible relationships in your life. This is coming off as actually very personal for you. All right, well, I'm back, and we'll see for how long. The dogs decided to go absolutely crazy over nothing. It was literally nothing. Okay. This might be really complicated relationships that you have to defend, that there's a feeling of separation in that didn't have support. Also, life choice changes. This is really big jobs. The advice is don't take everyone else's mindset into consideration with this one. It holds no grounds in your life. This is your happiness. It's not your parents. It's not your friends. It's not your jobs. It's not anyone else's happiness. This is yours. It has to be very solid for you, whether it's a relationship or a life path. And it has to be very specific towards you. If this was something that everybody wanted, then this wouldn't even matter. It would just be a replacement. There is no replacement on this. See this for how important that it is. All right, I want more on this. This is something that has been pulled away from, and it's been hopeless for a while. And it looks like confessions had to be made in this. I feel like somebody was really bearing their soul, and somebody had to listen without getting lost in the moment with them. It's like you had to step out and you had to really hear what was being said and not just be drowned out by anger or hurt, because I do feel like both of those were a component in this. So this is saying it's judgment time, it's alignment, and this is going to be a really slow start, but it's a love offer or a passionate offer that is coming your way. This can be in regard to relationship or career. And I am going to give this disclaimer as I will give every single time. If it is a toxic or abusive situation or person, do not go back to it. I don't care if they can change. Take yourself out of the equation, let them go change, and then see what happens. But don't stay under the assumption that somebody's going to change. I don't want you to get hurt. Nobody does. It's stupid. Stupid to think that anybody would want you to get hurt. So that being said, love offer coming in your way. What do you have to look forward to in this situation? I'm going to read the other mini read. So funny. I had to go mama bear on the dogs. Ooh. Believe it or not, I think you love the dramatics of it. Peace and wonderfulness, always part of it. But I think that this is going to involve that almost dramatic passion that you crave. And I think that this is something that you've held back from. And you weren't quite sure about the depths of which it would go. And this is something that I think has been kind of shamed out of your life. And then we have these making an appearance again. It's the start of something new in this connection. Let's see. Oh, there is magic in the air. I don't care if this is love or life path. This is massively important, and you got to get over your fears. There's trust issues with this one. There's trauma healing from this one. There's so much that you are terrified to bring up, but this is something that needs to get brought up if you want to actually start something new. And I do see that this is going to be a very heavy laden commitment, and it does feel very spiritual. This is what you have to look forward to. So I'm going to keep these bad boys out because I want to draw more on that one. What's the advice in going with either this life path or this relationship? So going the extra mile to achieve your dreams and putting in overtime will reap big rewards. Now is the time for you to act, to stir up energy, and to put those plans into action. There are many windows of opportunity that open but close quickly if you do not take the risk and go for it. Today, be confident that your hard work will pay off and that you'll feel that satisfaction and fulfillment of reaching your desired outcome. It might turn out even better than you expected. Isn't that amazing? Remember, however much work you are willing to put in, we will match it tenfold on our end. Everyone over here is rooting for you to win in this game of life, so just do it. So this, to me, it's saying if you want something, then go get it. Don't let anything hold you back. Don't let there be any sort of boundaries that you feel like you can't cross. And you are worth the risk in this, and so is this relationship. I think that somebody is waiting to get this validation from you. I think that it's there and waiting. It's just waiting for it to be met halfway. I love how Spirit always does 90% of the work. Actually, we do 1/10 of the work. Wait, no, because it says it does 10 steps every time you take one. So really, we're doing 1/11 of the work. Which, why do they have to do that? What is it? No, ugh. It's not even simple math. Come on, it doesn't always have to be complex. So if you want to look at it that way, 1/11 is actually numerology for new beginnings, which, hey, this is all about new, very slow beginnings. So tell me about this absolutely crazy opportunity or connections. It's divine soul purpose, and this is something where this failed the initial time because you bit off more than you can chew. It pushed it too fast. Spirit felt like the need. It had to pump the brakes. Somebody had to be cruel to be kind in order to get this to back off, which there's a soreness. So this dismantled the entire connection or opportunity. And this is saying that they had to learn to actually stand on their own. There's a point of independence on this one, with either them or you, or maybe even both. So let's see. What does the other person want you to know now? They have their eyes set on you. By the way, this is what I was just looking at. They have their eyes set on you. They're making swift action towards you. Let's see. They want this to take off fast, but not as fast as it had before. It feels like somebody wants to make a commitment and they are ready to move on, and they realize that they were holding themselves back. So this is saying that this is going to be a slow investment for them, and that it's not promising a marriage or a divine happy ending right now. They want to see where this can go, because they still know that they have a ton of lessons, and they don't want to get lost in this and lose their passion. And they know that they have a lot of emotional work, and they're fully aware that you might actually reject them. It's not always about you being rejected. It looks like somebody is afraid that you, in seeing their truth, could reject them. Why does it always have to be you at fault? Ever think about that? Maybe it's them who thinks that they're not good enough. Isn't that a crazy thought? So if we're looking at a life situation, what does that opportunity have to tell you? It had to get rid of this. It seems like it had not nepotism, but it seems like almost like its own little mini political game in it. It's not actual politics. It's like personal politics. Personal politics were very toxic in this environment. And it was like there was almost a dictatorship and somebody who was obsessive about having either the upper hand or the highest level of authority. Somebody really played off of what seems to be being on top. It's like seniority even. This is somebody who didn't realize how much they depended on everybody else to build them up. And I do feel like there is a lot of financial change that's going on in this upcoming opportunity. And I feel like a lot of it can be geared towards your way. This is a new financial beginning for you. There is a sense of loyalty that has been firmly established, and it does feel like a new beginning, but with somebody or something that seems to be very wise, well-versed, and not old school, but old soul in this. And you don't have to fight for anything. There's no fighting for any sort of validation in this one. And it's not just you who's going into this. It looks like there's multiple sources of people who are coming in to help the situation. It seems like it's an unbreakable force, but it's not necessarily like a family-like feeling, but it's almost like not a sorority, I guess. It's a gathering. It's a network. And nobody's going to be in direct control. It's going to be everybody working together, which is a huge risk for them, because if somebody is running the whole entire show, it makes them break under pressure. And I think that that's something that these people had to actually break down and speak of. So, what is the final cards for this session? And you know this doesn't end at midnight, so don't count on this being just done by the end of the day. This is a projection of your future based off of current circumstances, and if you choose to continue down this road, which is pretty likely. All right, lots of wand energy, page and knight of wands. So all right, take your break, but then act fast. This is gonna fall into place really quickly. You don't have to worry about how quickly it falls into place. And this is going to be something that gets your zest for life back. You don't have to make any more hard choices regarding this situation. It's very healing. And I think that any and all parties involved are no longer holding themselves back. It's pretty boss. So I hope that that made sense. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. If you have questions about booking a session, reach out an email address. Go rock it. Make this day yours. Stay safe, have fun, and know that you're greatly loved and appreciated. This is take 3 because I keep tripping over my words so badly. Think of a loved one who's crossed over. If you can't think of anyone, it's fine. It's going to be from your main guide, and I hope that I can get this right this time. All right. Going the extra mile to achieve your dreams and putting in overtime will reap big rewards. Now's the time for you to act, to stir up some energy, and to put those plans into action. There are many windows of opportunity that open but close quickly if you do not take the risk and go for it. Today, be confident that your hard work will pay off, and you'll feel that satisfaction and fulfillment of reaching your desired outcome. It might turn out even better than you expected. Isn't that amazing? Remember, however much work you're willing to put in, we will match it tenfold on our end. Everyone here is rooting for you to win this game of life, so just do it. I did it. This is great. Okay, so that's actually a real cheerleader moment from Spirit, and I want you to go for it. You deserve this life and happiness. Stay safe, have fun, go rock this. Breathe, just breathe. I want you to think of a loved one who's crossed over. They're expressing a time of loss, but we're going to see what. Don't panic. If you can't think of a loved one, it's going to be from your main guide, but don't worry, you have support. So there are times when loss is a part of life. Sometimes the loss is welcome, like when you leave a situation not in alignment with your highest good. Sometimes a loss is sudden and painful, like a loved one crossing over into our dimension. Regardless of the nature of the loss and your control over it, your experience is asking to be acknowledged. Tears are necessary, as is grief, and when you repress the natural expression of loss and try to move on too quickly, the unprocessed pain haunts you in destructive ways. We don't want that for you. Instead, let your heart break wide open, feel the loss, and integrate it. See the beauty that was, the lesson learned, and that as you let go of what has passed, even more of you remains. It gets better, we promise. Your heart expands with more compassion for the world than ever before. Love heals all. We are loving you, sending you love always and forever. Love, Spirit. Do you need a hug? I'll take a hug. Do you want a hug? Is this like a hug time? It really feels like it. I'm going to give you a hug. Don't make it weird. And another time. So think of a loved one who's crossed over. Again, if you can't think of anybody, it doesn't take away from the importance. It's from your main guide. Over here, there's no mystery for us to unravel, as we know intimately how connected we all are and how the web of creation works and how Spirit is in every aspect of life, from the invisible to the visible. But it is impossible for humans to comprehend the complexities of how things actually work, because the most important threads in the tapestry don't make sense in the dimension you live in. That said, you can feel the importance of these currents of energy that bring events together in miraculous ways. You can't understand with your mind, but you can know with your heart and soul. Trust that even though you don't know how, the what, or the why, we do. Surrender to the mystery and have faith in the unseen world is watching you with loving eyes as Spirit weaves your life mysteries and beautiful tapestry in glorious technicolor. I did it in the right time. Okay, have faith in Spirit and God. Sending you so much love. Bye. Okay, so I hate hearing this as much as you're probably going to hate hearing this. You have to be your own parent in this. You have to force yourself to make the changes that you're probably not comfortable in making in this one. This is to get rid of stuff that really doesn't sit well with you in your life. That's stuff you've probably outgrown. Complacency does not equate to happiness. You have settled for far too less in this lifetime, and it has to be squashed. Okay? So this is saying you're getting rid of a lot of things right now. You're making space for grand ascension and changes, whatever you want to call it. But also, this is going to be something that you have to acclimate with over time. So I'm seeing the set your sights higher. Great, grand, wonderful. It's going to take time for you to get comfortable and then get to a point where you get even more in this. It is about more. It is about moving on. It is about getting quality over quantity. And that goes for years as well. So I hope that that made sense. Stay safe, have fun. You got to get away from the situation, and nobody's giving you the opportunity to get away, which I don't want you to feel like you're disempowered in this situation, but you're going to kind of have to be a little bit more curt and probably even a bigger jerk in this situation to get yourself heard. The next step in what feels like for you the wrong decision is not the right step. It's just a higher level of misstep. You need to come in with a fresh mind. So step outside this thing entirely. Go get your wits about you. Let this crumble into whatever it was crumbling into. It doesn't need you to save it. And do something completely different with your time, with your vision, with your life in this one. It's going to take you getting away from the herd. All right? You're not meant to be herded. You're meant to stand out. Yes, you, one of almost 8 billion people on the planet. Yeah, you're meant to stand out. So find out what that is and then take those steps. So I hope that that made sense. You're worth it. Bye, love.